Higher feed costs are plaguing all livestock producers right now, and as Farm Journal's Tyne Morgan tells us, those difficult decisions may not be over yet.
Planting progress is in the books for some Iowa farmers.
The weather was pretty cooperative for us. We got some stuff in early, we got rained out, and then we got back in and hit it hard.
Amanda Adams says her family finished planting Mother's Day weekend, a relief for a pork producer who needs all the feed she can get.
Obviously, we have grain prices that are going up too, so the margins are still different than they would be if grain prices were back in the 3 and 4s.
It's climbing feed costs, creating a difficult situation for feed users.
Well, first of all, your head's spinning.
As the markets try to figure out just how high feed costs will go.
Basically got to say, okay, if I've been long, okay, if I haven't been long at this point, what is my risk? And my risk is the weather scare.
A possible weather scare that could produce a scarier outlook for those needing to buy feed.
You got to kind of be in catastrophic mode right now. If we have a weather problem and a weather scare, the upside is very scary. We'll far exceed previous all-time highs in corn and beans. That's a big if we have a weather scare. Everything looks pretty good right now.
And it's not just corn that's creating price pain for feed buyers.
I'm probably more concerned about the beans, so I'd be worried about my meal too.
USDA's WASDE report out this week added fuel to the tight soybean supply story.
Soybeans has a very bullish story to tell. And certainly I think that'll continue to support prices. We've seen this being played out in the markets the last couple of weeks. It is tight, and soybeans are now fighting to retain the acres that they can't lose. They have acres they can't give up.
AgriTalk host Chip Flory said the other big takeaway from the report is the fact $7 corn hasn't scared away demand yet.
USDA added 100 million bushels to the corn export estimate, took it up to 2.775 billion bushels. That's with old crop corn futures above $7. We need to keep in mind that as we look forward into the 2021-22 marketing year, that what has happened in the old crop marketing year tells us that the market needs to work harder to slow down demand.
Oklahoma State livestock specialist Daryl Peel says the lack of packing capacity is getting to a critical point.
We've been aware for several years that packing capacity had gotten down to a point where it was, kind of imbalanced with cattle numbers, and actually now is a little bit short of what we need.
A mountain of obstacles for an industry still trying to recover from the pandemic.
I think from a livestock perspective, though, what we've seen historically, eventually, if corn and bean prices continue higher from here and go dramatically higher, maybe test or exceed all-time highs, it will drag the livestock with it, and that to keep those margins kind of in check a little bit. We haven't seen that yet.
As a year later, the future still remains unclear.